Hi guys, welcome to Mealtimes and Mouthfuls with Megan. Today we're going to be making my favorite meatball recipe that I found. There's going to be a little bit of alterations to the recipe, but I will explain as we go along. So let's get started. I have everything you need here in front of me, and I have my mixing bowl. So, to start off with, what we are going to start with is 1 pound right here. I have 1 pound of hamburger meat and 1 pound of mild Italian sausage. Now this is going to be our first alteration. The recipe calls for hot Italian sausage, but I'm not big into spice, so I use mild. You may use whichever one you like, hot or mild. But you need 1 pound of each, hamburger and Italian sausage. So what we're going to do to help this mix really well is first we're going to debling. Make sure you take off all your rings, because you're going to get messy with this. You're going to mix the hamburger and the Italian sausage. Now, I used to not do that. I didn't mix it. I just threw all the ingredients in. But I like doing it this way because then I know each ingredient that I use is going to get mixed into a fair mix. It's not going to be like one bite of just hamburger and no Italian, or one bite of Italian and no hamburger. So this is just my way of doing it. Everyone's different, but I'll tell you what, these make some of the best, juiciest meatballs. My next version of this I would love to do, which I'll do another video on that as a test trial, is I want to use, instead of hamburger, I'm going to try to use lamb. Now, I know some people think lamb's a little gamey, you know, or a little too fatty, but I personally love lamb. And I actually found ground lamb at my Walmart, which was like awesome. So we've been making lamb burgers, and oh, are they ever so good. So, alright, I got that mixed in. You just kind of want to make sure you get everything really, really mixed. And yes, if this is your only step, please wash your hands and scrub them. But because I'm going to be doing multiple steps and needing to dirty my hand again, I'm going to hold off on washing just for the moment. So, because I'm not going to touch anything else, that's why I have one clean hand. So now that I have that all mixed up, we are going to look at our list. I have my recipe sheet right here. I'm not good at memorizing them off the top of my head unless I've made it. Like certain recipes, I kind of got the gist, but this one calls for a little bit, so I'm going to read it off to you as I do it. So first we're going to start, we have our Italian, then we're going to start with half a teaspoon, which I have in here in this little container, half a teaspoon of garlic powder. So we're going to throw in garlic powder, woo! So there's the garlic powder, done. Next, you need 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. So 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And if y'all guys will forgive me, I'm still learning how to navigate doing these. I keep wanting to show it to you guys in the viewfinder instead of the camera, so learning in progress. Next, right here, 1 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, for me, I use the plain breadcrumbs because just because we're going to be adding our own seasonings in, and I don't want it to be over salty or over seasoned. So 1 cup of plain breadcrumbs going in. Woo! That pepper's getting to my nose a little. One moment. Excuse me. Alright. Then we're going to do 1/4 cup, right here, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. So we need 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese going down. Ooh, this is so good. I'm telling you, once you make this, you'll never want to go back to anything else. Alright, now 2 cups, I'm skipping a step, 2 eggs, not 2 cups, 2 eggs. So we're going to crack the eggs and go whoop. Drop 2 eggs down. Now I have to be very careful with these eggs because my husband bought these and they're good eggs, but for some reason the shells on these are a little more fragile, so it's easier to get pieces in. So I'm just double checking, making sure. So after you drop your 2 eggs, which are in here, you're gonna need half a cup of whole milk. Now I use 2%. I don't think it makes a difference. It's what I have in my fridge. It's what we drink. So I'm gonna put in 2 cups. So this is 2% milk, but it calls for whole if you want. All right. Step 2 on your variation mix right now. Okay, I'm gonna put this over here so you guys can't see it. Step 2 on my variation. This calls for parsley. Now, if you're doing fresh parsley, it calls for half a cup of fresh. If you're doing the flakes like I am today, it's 1/4 cup of parsley flakes. So half a cup of fresh or 1/4 cup of your flakes. Now, the other 2 ingredients that you're going to want for this, which we're not doing today because I'm going to do mine a little different, is mozzarella to stuff inside the meatballs and some marinara sauce. But I don't really want the cheese today, but when you make them, you just stuff them with mozzarella and they're perfect. They're good. But I don't want the mozzarella today, and instead of marinara, I'm putting mine in Alfredo, which is just as amazing. So, you're going to get your hand in here now. See, we're going to work it. And what you're going to do, see, there's our big mix. We're going to mix all this together. Mix. Mix it all in there. Get it all good and coated. Oh, yeah, you guys. This is going to be amazing. You want to make sure you get the breadcrumbs all in there because that's going to help hold it together. And get all the parsley flakes. That's your best seasoning. The salt, pepper, and parsley flakes. And the garlic powder. So just make sure you get to the bottom and get everything all incorporated. Because then we're going to get to have some fun. Now, before you start this, you can preheat your oven to 350. Now, the original recipe, when I first saw this, was to do it in a crock pot. Put it in a crock pot, put sauce over it. But for me, I didn't think it was cooking fast enough, and I was like, maybe it'll be better in the oven. And for me, the oven cooks faster, and I don't have to wait as long. But if you want to do a set it and forget it, you can use your crock pot. You just make your meatballs like we're doing now. Stuff them with mozzarella cheese. Layer them in your crock pot with some whatever of your favorite kind of sauce, whether it be Alfredo, spaghetti, marinara, whatever. And these are so good. They're even good on their own. So if you just want to do like a sauce bar, like I've even put barbecue sauce over them and they're delicious. So you can really do like a sauce bar and make these. And the other thing I'm going to try with this recipe is, because they are so delicious and have such a good flavor, I'd like to one day do minis and put them like in pizza pockets or on top of pizza. This recipe has so many things you can do with it. Now we are going to make our meatballs. Meatball size varies on your personal opinion and who you're cooking for and how you're cooking. If you're making for a big group and you need a lot, make them smaller. If it's just a few and you don't, you can make, and you're just wanting to throw it in spaghetti, make some big ones and then they can cut them in half as they cook. But I think we are pretty much all mixed in. Really nice. So there you go. There's the meatball recipe. Now, what I have here is my largest pizza pan. It don't matter what pan you use. It's all up to you. I just like to use this one because I can fit a lot on here. And it helps. So what you're going to do now is we're going to make meatballs. It's going to be so good, you guys. Like, delicious. So we're going to take, now, like I said, this is just for me. It's not for anyone else. I mean, not just for me, but because these are made, I'm going to put them just with some Alfredo sauce and some noodles. I kind of want like a medium-sized. There you go. Congrats. Now, you're just going to keep making these. And what I like to do for me, because, I'm just picky like that when I cook, and it's something I've always been picky with, I like to measure mine next to the one I previously made to make sure I kind of got them all the same size. That's just me. I'm not, saying you have to do that. So this is my meatball recipe, and oh, is it good. It is delicious, and I want everyone, if you give it a try, let me know. Like I said, just measure it against the one you did before and kind of make sure it's even, just so cooking time is about the same for them all. Because, if they're smaller than the others, they'll cook faster, and if they're bigger, they take longer, so... Like I said, I just love rolling these into meatballs and cooking them up. And at this stage, this is where if I had mozzarella, you'd poke a hole, stuff some mozzarella in there, and then roll it back up. But I'm not going to add the mozzarella today. You can use any form of mozzarella or any form of cheese, actually. You just have to be careful because if you don't tight roll it or check it, it will ooze, and that is a-okay. They're still just as delicious. So, let's keep going on this meatball fun. And, yeah, I'm not perfect. I'm not a chef. I don't claim to be. I just love cooking recipes, and, I don't like, sometimes I don't even like doing recipes that look like it's going to be a lot. I'm like, no, too much. This recipe just looks so good, and it's going to be tasty. See? Even if they're a touch bigger, that's okay. They still look phenomenal. They're going to be good. And you can, usually if I'm making this for a group, I'll double or triple the recipe sometimes. But that's just because I like everyone to have enough. To make sure everyone's getting enough. And because they're so good. So that's what I do. And it's so great. Alright. Look at that. Woo, we are making meatballs. So just get you a little bit, a little handful, and keep her rolling. Now, when I first made this recipe, I made it for my husband, and my husband and his cousins, and they really liked it. They're like, these are some good meatballs. And yes, they are so tasty. They have just enough of a great flavor. And, they're not dry. They're juicy. But like I said, I honestly believe that sometimes, recipes, the higher quality ingredients, like the higher quality meat or, stuff like that will help. So, I haven't really fiddled with, usually I use lean meat, but for these I kind of want a little lesser lean. So that way it's got a little more fat to it. So that way it kind of stays juicy. I think that helps. See? Ta-da! Meatballs down. So we're going to keep making meatballs. And this is a great recipe that if you have little kids who want to learn and help, they can help you mix it. They can help throw in the ingredients. And then you can teach them how to make balls like this. And you know what? It's something that I know it's messy and you got to wash and clean. But that's the fun of cooking, is to get in there and get messy with your food, That's something I've always enjoyed was, I want to take this one down a little, was just being able to get messy in the kitchen and cook. It made things a lot of fun. And it can for kids, So, kids and other adults who may not, know how to cook. I'm sure you got teens that are going to be going off to college or learning. Going off to college or going away from home, and they're going to need to know these things. That's one of the things I tend to agree with all the school stuff going on is, and even for me, we want kids to learn so much, reading, writing, arithmetic. That is fine, but we then forget to teach the important stuff, like how to do your taxes, how to make sure you know how to do laundry. We don't, some kids don't know how to do that. They don't know how to balance a checkbook or what it means to, check your credit score. They don't know any of that. So when they get out there It's all new. Yeah, it's things they may have seen you do, but unless you're teaching them, they're not going to know how to do it. And so that's what I want us to do, is to teach our kids things that when they get out into the adult world, they're going to understand and know how to do it and be able to say, hey, I know how to do this. My mom taught me, or my dad, or whoever. I was taught by somebody. I know how to do it. You know, they say a lot of times, you know, young adults are easy to get taken advantage of sometimes. You know, and I think it's because we don't teach them certain things about the way life works and this and that, and it's easier for the younger generation who are up and coming to say, hey, wait, that sounds good, okay, I'm in. You know, you got to remember, you too were taught this stuff, you learned it, share it so they don't have to go through those mistakes. Yes, it's good for people to make mistakes, but if you can give someone knowledge that's going to keep them from making the same mistakes, or keeping them from making mistakes that are easy to, you know, kind of just not make, that would be great. So we're almost done here. We're just going to keep making our meatballs. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And they smell, if you could smell my kitchen, then you do even smell-o-vision. These smell so good. I'm just making sure I get all the egg because it kind of sticks to you a little. And alright. These meatballs are going to be so good. Like I said, this is also one of those recipes that if you want to make a bunch up and take it to someone, you know, for a party, or, you know, someone who's been sick, you just want to make them a little bit of meatballs so they don't have to cook. You can easily make these up, give them some pasta in a jar of sauce, and say, here's some spaghetti for you, you know. Just throw on the noodles and heat up the sauce and you'll have your spaghetti. Easy peasy. Also, like I said, if you wanted to, you could make these smaller and, you know, make them cocktail size for just little, you know, like pick-me-ups or appetizers. So that's also something you can do. I'm just going to add a little more to this one. And again, these are so great. And this was a recipe I learned of myself. And actually, the reason I think I love this recipe is because it's one of the first recipes I made for my grandma that she absolutely loved, and actually said it was one of the best meatballs she'd ever had. So I think that's kind of why I like this so much. So we're just going to continue on. We're almost done. Maybe 2 more out of this batch of meatballs. Like I said, this is just 1 layer of meatballs. And I just try to make sure I got all the ingredients and everything off the bottom of the pan. All the meat, because you're not going to want to miss any. Alright, we're going to make 1 more here. These are going to be so good. You know what? I'm going to tear this one down just a little because I want that one fatter and this one perfectly smaller. There we go. Perfect size meatballs. Ready to go. So, now what you're going to do is you're going to pop these in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. You're going to want to keep an eye on them. So for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to be ready. So I'm going to pop these in, and then I will see you when these are done. Alright guys, so here we are. This is the finished plate of meatballs. They look delicious and juicy. And now, what I'm going to do with these, as I said, I'm going to make me some noodles in Alfredo sauce. And we will be back when it all is put together. Here is our finished product, meatballs with Alfredo and noodles. Homemade meatballs, delicious, delicious, delicious. So let's pull it back and let's take a bite. A spoon here. Now, I'm telling you, when you eat into these, You're going to love them. You can just pull them apart. See the nice insides. Nice and steamy. Just pull apart and get, oh. And I like to get mine with a little bit of noodles in there. Oh, look at this. Yeah, this is going to be so good. Mm. Mmm. 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 I'm telling you, this recipe is perfect. Oh. It is absolutely delicious. Nothing better. You wrap it up with the noodles and the sauce. Again, you can eat these, you know, with nothing on it, but that's just me. I love it with the sauce. And I mean, it is 100% absolutely delicious. There we go. Let's see if I can. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm still learning how to do this proper, so I will get it fixed one day. But oh, I'm telling you guys, it's worth every chance you get to make these and to try these. Oh, you're gonna love it. Mmm. 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 There's nothing more that needs to be said. I'm going to finish this off camera because I don't know if I'll eat it all, but I wanted to show you guys my finished product. And I will tell you this, it makes a hearty, delicious meal. You guys, thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed, please click the like button and let me know. If you didn't, click the dislike so I'll know. Comment down below if there's things you notice I could change, things that could be better. And I will take it into consideration. You guys, I want to thank you so much, and I hope you guys stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. And God bless to everyone. Bye!